Well, welcome back into the Mid-Norfolk garden, and this afternoon we're going to be harvesting and storing some of these Bramley apples because now's an ideal time of year to be thinking about bringing some of these in. And if you can store them in a cool place, they're going to keep between now, which is the middle of October, right the way through, if you're lucky, to the end of February. Now, when's the right time to consider picking some of your Bramleys and bringing them in? And as you can see here, we've got quite a fall of apples already on the ground that have fallen over the last 3 or 4 weeks, but there's still plenty of fruit on the tree. But what's left is starting to get damaged by the birds. You really have got to select absolutely perfect apples for storage. There's no point trying to store anything that's fallen off the tree or got damage on the skin at all. You want a perfectly intact skin. And timing wise, well, where that this video is going to be looked at different parts of the world. Here in the UK, Bramleys and Bramley seedlings we look at storing from around mid-October. But I would say the best bit of advice we can give is not to think that it's got to be all done on a single day or on a single event. We've already taken some of these fruits in and they've been in storage for about a week and a half now, and do it gradually. When you're out in the garden and the opportunity presents, when these fruit are as ripe as they are this season, you're going to not do any harm by putting some into storage and then gradually increasing the amount of storage apples that you've got over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. And you can continue to harvest these and put them into storage right the way through until none are left on the tree. But advice still stands, they've got to be perfect condition. Now, timing wise, I've got another bit of advice for you. Try and pick a fair weather day, ideally in the afternoon where the fruit are dry and there's no rain or moisture around. It makes picking them a lot more pleasurable and easy. You're less likely to drop them, and they're in a dry, nice condition to go straight into storage, so you're not going to have to dry them off or risk them getting mouldy. So dry, warm, sunny afternoon if at all possible. I know that's not always going to be the case. If you do have to pick them in damp weather, then put them somewhere where they're going to dry off naturally. You don't want to rub them or dry them with a towel if you can help it, because by doing so you risk damaging the skin, removing some of the wax, which is also a protective layer that again is quite critical in the preservation of these fruits in cold storage. That waxy layer acts as a barrier to fungus, and you don't want to remove that. It's part of the protective layer on these fruits. And the other advice we've got for you: when you're collecting your apples, harvesting them to go inside into storage, have a decent container available to put them into. Don't try and balance them on your arms and carry them in. You're going to drop the best ones, and it's always going to be those superb, perfect fruits that drop. We've got this lovely vintage, I think it's probably a potato basket to hand. Previous years we've used apple crates, and if you're going to store them directly into the crates, then it's a good idea to have those available to hand and place them directly onto the crates. We usually put them on newspaper if we're going to do so, but in storage where we're going to put them, I'm going to show you 2 places ideal for storing them. If you've got a cold store, a cold garage somewhere where the temperature is going to be nice and low but frost free over winter, that's going to be ideal. And we're also going to show you the ideal place to put them in the refrigerator. So let's get picking some apples and see what we get off here. Let's start with this one, see how she comes away. Now, that's what you want to do. You don't want any leaf or stem, but you don't want that to break away from the fruit. That's ideal. And then checking it over for any damage. This one's in perfect condition. So again, gently into the basket. There we go, one down. See if I can fill this basket, see how we get on. Right, now I've got 2 examples of fruit here which we wouldn't choose to store. The one on the right, obviously, bird damage on here, that's not going to store. Perfectly good to use if you cut around the damaged areas, but that's not one that we'd look at storing. And this one again, looks intact, but this area of an old scar that's healed up from a much earlier area of damage to this fruit. Again, you can see the discoloration starting to occur around here. That's going to rot out very quickly. So that one, I'm afraid, again, is going to be discarded and not put into storage. Well, here we are, a full basket of apples, and I've had to be really quite ruthless. I've probably rejected around 2/3 of what I've picked, just down to that area of damage, the little bird pecks, the old bruising, or just imperfections on them. You really want to be, if you can afford to be, really protectionist about getting absolutely perfect fruit. And you see there's a great variation in what we picked from an extremely ripe Bramley. It's very unusual to get this degree of colour and ripeness on a Bramley. This season's been exceptional, to ones that have grown in the lower boughs of this tree, which are more characteristic of a Bramley or Bramley seedling, with this sort of green, slightly mottled, just this little brown pitting areas on them. But these, I think, are the perfect apples to store, and what we're going to do now is take these indoors and show you where we're going to store them over winter. Now, when it comes to storing your apples, the first option we're going to show you is the domestic refrigerator. You can see we've got some apples in one of the vegetable trays already in this fridge. Now, in a refrigerator, you're going to have ideal conditions, particularly a modern refrigerator, to keep these apples in tip-top condition for, well, it depends on the variety, obviously, but potentially 2 or 3 months with a cooking apple. So what I'm going to do is load some of these Bramleys into this tray. Now we're putting them upside down. It doesn't matter which side up they go, but what we do want to do is try and create a little bit of space between the apples. Now, if you haven't got a big fridge and you've only got one small vegetable tray, this probably isn't going to be an option for you, but you could get maybe half a dozen or a dozen apples into storage, and it's worthwhile doing even a few to extend the useful life of these fruits for you. But the better option, if you can find a suitable area, is to find a dry, frost-free, cold storage area where you can put a rack or some form of shelving to put the fruits directly into. This is a cold pantry. It's part of the design of these old houses in Norfolk, that they had either a dairy or a cold pantry built onto the north face of a wall with a very small window, solid cold floor, external solid walls. And when you walk into this in winter, it's like walking into a fridge, but this is an ideal place to store some apples. You see we've put some in here already, and I'm just going to fill up now with the rest of these fruits we've picked today. Now we're putting them so that they're not touching. Doesn't matter, as I say, which way up they go, but you do want to be able to see the fruit. So an open rack system like this is absolutely ideal. You can see we're not wrapping the fruit, we're not placing it on any newspaper or anything in this situation, because the airflow around these fruits is really going to help them, and you're going to spot any damage that occurs to them and any rot, and you can remove those fruit as and when you need to. If you haven't got a cold pantry, think about a black area in your garage or the shed or an outhouse somewhere that's going to remain frost free but is cold and rodent free, and that's going to be a suitable area to store these apples in here. I'm hoping these will keep us going in apples for cooking right the way through to February, and the fruit will change considerably over that time. It's firm, sharp, and when cooked will go quite fluffy at this stage. By the time these have been stored for a couple of months, they're going to be waxy on the outside. That's what you don't want to happen. That one's going to be bruised. I'm going to discard that now. But a waxy stored Bramley is a completely different fruit to a freshly cooked Bramley. And really the only way you can get those lovely waxy stored Bramleys is to store them yourself and let them go waxy with time. You can't buy those from a supermarket as a cooking apple. So look, that's one container full. That's the one I've dropped, which I'm going to use straight away. I've got some here that I didn't manage to get access to when I brought them in. I'm going to put those into storage. I've still got another whole tray to fill, so I'm going to go back out now and finish off harvesting a few more. But do it over a period of time. We've bought some of these in, as I say, about 10 days ago. These are coming in now. I might not get the chance to finish picking this afternoon, but I'll wait for another decent day in a week or so's time, and just do it when you've got the time and when the weather's right, and get them into storage, and you're going to have lovely free fruit right the way through over the winter into early spring.